Thank you so much, and thank you for hosting this very important press conference to shed a light on what is truly going to impact our community. I stand here as the mayor of the city of Albany knowing, first of all, the economic impact that this institution has on our city, the impact that it has on housing, on our retail, on our restaurants, the impact that it has with respect to the research that is happening here, and those economic dollars are incredibly important to our economy. And so there is an economic impact to the decisions that are being made in Washington, and those impacts are going to be negative for our city, for our families, and for our community moving forward if they do not stop. The other piece of this that is so important, though, is the impact that this is going to have on human lives. The work that is done here, the research that happens here, literally saves lives. And we have to ensure that we are funding science, that we are funding the work that is going to be done in a way that makes it accessible for everyone. When research is done at a public university like the University at Albany, that research is far more likely to benefit far more people, rather than research that may happen privately and that may only be accessible to those who can write a big enough check to access it. And so this work is incredibly important. I am the part of a very large study that is going on, that has been going on for years, the sister study. I have two sisters who both had breast cancer, one before the age of 40. Both of them survived. But when I received information about a study that was being done, a long-term, longitudinal study of sisters of people who have had breast cancer, I said, sign me up. And so every year I share information. Every 5 years I provide an update. And that study needs to go on for decades in order to really determine how I can make sure that my nieces and my great-nieces don't have to worry about breast cancer. And so these studies are incredibly important. And the work that is done is not work that you can just flip it off one day and then flip it back on the next. And I know we're going to hear from people who know a lot more than that about that than I do, but I certainly understand that turning off a switch now could have devastating impacts for people who are dealing with diseases, for people who have hope and are counting on the researchers here at the university and throughout our research system to do the work that they do every day. And so my heart really hurts, not only for those who are impacted here, the students, the professors, they're passionate about this work, they do it because they want to make a difference, but my heart breaks for those who are out there with hope that their disease, that their loved one is going to be helped by the research that is happening here. We cannot let this stand. This is, for me, one of the most short-sighted things I've ever seen a government do, ever. It is, and not only is it short-sighted from the standpoint of our health and our future, but it's also short-sighted from the standpoint of just the apparent, to me, meanness of it all. Right? This isn't, right, I'm not running again, you heard that. So I can say things that other people can't say. This is mean-spirited. This is an attack on institutions of higher education. This is an attack on diversity. This is an attack on people who are doing the work that needs to be done to move our country forward. This is an attack. And we need to say no. And we need to stand in solidarity with UUP, with our universities, with science, with those who are doing work because they care. And when we come together, I know that there isn't anything that we can't do. And I know that Congressman Tonko would be here if he weren't doing the work that we need him to be doing in Washington. But we have to work at the local, the state, and the federal level and come together in unison to say no to throwing away science and our future. Thank you.